Ideal free agent for Los Angeles Lakers amid latest injuries. The Los Angeles Lakers made a lot of changes to their roster this NBA offseason. Rob Pelinka showed once again that he is willing to make any move if he feels it puts the team closer to winning a championship. He also showed that he is pretty savvy when it comes to negotiations, as a few players took less money to sign with the Lakers. Being in a position to win a championship is a big reason players passed on more money. Pelinka deserves credit for that, putting together a group that can win a championship. There are only 3 players signed right now that were on the team last season. LeBron James and Anthony Davis were the only ones under contract, while Talen Horton-Tucker was re-signed in free agency. Alex Caruso was the only Lakers free agent that left in free agency and signed a multi-year deal, landing with the Chicago Bulls. Dennis Schroeder, Andre Drummond, Markieff Morris, and Ben McLemore all signed one-year deals with the Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers, Miami Heat, and Portland Trail Blazers, respectively. With 5 more players remaining free agents still and 3 Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, and Montrezl Harrell being used to land Russell Westbrook, Pelinka had to get to work filling out the roster. He did a wonderful job of it, signing Carmelo Anthony, Wayne Ellington, Trevor Ariza, Dwight Howard, Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, Kent Bazemore, Rajon Rondo, and most recently DeAndre Jordan in free agency. All of them except Nunn, who signed a 2-year, $10.3 million deal, signed for the veteran's minimum. Now, Ariza is sidelined for an extended period of time due to an ankle injury, and Talen Horton-Tucker is set to undergo surgery on his thumb. There is a clear need to add another player into the mix. With room still left on the roster, let's take a look at the perfect free agent left for the Lakers to sign. James Ennis is the perfect free agent remaining. It has been reported that the Los Angeles Lakers are looking to fill the 13th and 14th roster spots on their roster with 1 point guard and 1 wing player. There aren't any glaring holes on this roster, as Rob Pelinka did a good job of adding depth across the board. A true table-setting point guard, much like Rajon Rondo was during their NBA championship run in 2019, would be of use, which is why the team brought him back. Prior to Rondo's buyout, Isaiah Thomas was been linked to the purple and gold, as he was one of the 3 point guards, along with Darren Collison and Mike James, to have worked out with the team. The perfect free agent that is still available for the Lakers, based on what is being reported about what they are looking for, is James Ennis. The injuries to Trevor Ariza and Talen Horton-Tucker only furthers that notion. Ennis spent last season with the Orlando Magic, playing in 41 games with 37 starts, averaging 24 minutes per game. It is a little surprising that the 31-year-old Long Beach State product is still available in free agency, but the Lakers should change that. What makes the well-traveled Ennis the perfect free agent target remaining for the Lakers? Let's take a deeper dive into it. Why James Ennis is the perfect fit. As we saw last season with the Los Angeles Lakers, you can never have too much depth, especially when it comes to 3 and D wings. James Ennis would fit the bill as such and would provide the organization with solid depth. Ennis knocked down 43.3% of his 3-point attempts last season and is a 36% shooter from distance in his career. 3-point shooting was a real weakness for the Lakers last season, and they did a good job improving in that area this offseason. Why James Ennis is the perfect fit. As we saw last season with the Los Angeles Lakers, you can never have too much depth, especially when it comes to 3 and D wings. James Ennis would fit the bill as such and would provide the organization with solid depth. Ennis knocked down 43.3% of his 3-point attempts last season and is a 36% shooter from distance in his career. 3-point shooting was a real weakness for the Lakers last season, and they did a good job improving in that area this offseason. Talen Horton-Tucker will likely see the most minutes at small forward this season when healthy. LeBron James, Trevor Ariza, and Carmelo Anthony could provide some minutes as well, but Ariza and Anthony are better suited for the power forward spot at this point in their careers. In the meantime, Ennis can make a needed impact. As a depth option, Ennis is well worth taking a look at. If his shooting numbers aren't an aberration, the Lakers would be getting another steal from free agency. Adding a 3 and D wing should take precedence over another point guard, as Los Angeles has Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Kendrick Nunn who can initiate the offense already on the roster. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.